Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about joining letters in Arabic. So, when letters come at the end of the word, they look very much as they do when standing alone and they are written in their full shape. However, when they came at the beginning or in the middle of the word, they get shortened or they get chopped. So let's see examples. Okay. Now here we have ba plus tha. Ba is the first letter in the word, so we're gonna chop it and take this half of it and write it in this way, ba. But here tha is the last one in the word, so we write it as normal as usual in its full shape. Okay, another example, ta plus ba. Ta here is the first one in the word, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part or this half and write it in this way, ta. But ba here is the last one in the word, so we're gonna take it in its full shape as usual. Let's see three letters, tha plus ba plus ta. Tha is the first one, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, tha, like this. Ba here is the middle letter, and we're gonna do the same as we did in the first one, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so tha ba. And then ta is the last letter, and as we say before, we don't have to chop it, we're gonna put it in its full shape as usual. Okay, so let's see new letters which are noon and ya. Let's see the first example. Here we have ba plus noon. So ba is the first letter, so we're gonna chop it into two halves and take only this part, so we'll be written like this, ba. And then we have noon. Noon here is the last letter in the word, so no problem, we're gonna put it in its full shape. Okay, here noon, we have noon as a first letter, so how we gonna write it? Exactly as we say before, we're gonna chop it into two halves and take only this part, so we'll be written like this, na. Okay, and then we have ya. Ya here is the last letter, so there is no problem, we're gonna put it in its normal usual shape, in its full shape. Here we have ya as a middle letter, so how we gonna chop it? Exactly the same as we said before, we're gonna chop it into two halves and take this part. It looks like the same chopped shape of ba, ta and tha, but here with the two characteristic dots of ya below it, so it looks like this. Okay, bait, and then ta is the last one, so we don't have to change it, we will put it in its normal full shape. Here we have ba plus noon plus ya. Ba, we're gonna chop it because it is the first letter and write it in this way. Noon is a middle letter, so we're gonna also chop it and take only this part, so it will be written in this shape, bana. Okay, and then ya is the last one, so we don't have to chop it, we will put it in its normal full shape. Okay, here we have ya as the first letter, and then ba and then tha. Ya, we're gonna chop it and take this part and write it in this way with the two dots below, and then ba, we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so we'll be written in this way with one dot below, and then tha is the last one, so we're gonna put it in its full usual shape. Okay, okay, now it's your turn to test yourself. Bring your notebook and try to write those combinations in your notebook. Okay, so we first have noon plus ya. You can pause the video and try. Okay, noon plus ya. Noon is the first one, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so we'll be written like this, na. And here ya is the last one, so we're gonna put it in its usual full shape like this, nay. Okay, the second example, try test yourself, try to write it in your notebook. You can pause the video and then continue. Okay, Ta plus ba plus noon. Ta is the first one, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part. So we're gonna write it like this, ta. Then ba, it's a middle letter, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so it will be written like this, ba, and we're gonna connect it to the previous letter, which is ba. Okay, and then we have noon is the last one, so there is no problem. We're gonna put it in its full usual shape. Okay, noon plus ba plus ta. Try. Okay, here noon is the first one, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so it will be written like this, na. Then ba is the middle one, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so it will be written like this, ba, and connect it to the previous one. And then we have ta is the last letter, so we're gonna put it in its full shape. Okay, ya plus ba plus noon plus ya. Ya is the first letter, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so it will be written like this, ya, with the two dots below. Okay, then we have ba is the middle letter, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so we're gonna connect it to ya. Okay, and put a dot below. And then we have noon, so it's also a middle letter, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part and connect it to the previous letter, which is ba, and put a dot below, which is this one. Okay, and then we have ya, the last one, so we will put it in its full shape and connect it to noon, the previous letter. Okay, the last example, ba plus ya plus ta plus ya. Ba is the first one, so we're gonna chop it and take only this part, so we'll be written like this, ba. Then we have this middle letter, which is ya. We're gonna chop it and take only this part, which will be written like this, and connect it to ba, which is the previous letter. Then we have ta, also a middle letter, so we're gonna take only this part, and connect it to ya. And then we have ya, which is the last one, and will be written in its full shape. Okay. Okay, now let's try to add vowels to those combinations of letters to make meaningful words. Okay, for example, let's see those last two examples. Okay, here we have ba plus noon plus ta. Okay, so if we add kasra to ba, it will pronounce it like b, b. Okay, and then sukoon to noon. But what do I mean by sukoon? Okay, sukoon is a small circle above the letter, which indicates literally no vowel. Okay, and sukoon is usually put above the middle words, not the last words, so it's pronounced like this. Here we have kasra below ba, and then we have sukoon, which looks like a circle above the letter, above the middle letter, so it will pronounce it like this, bin, bin. There is no literally there is no vowel for noon, bin. Okay, and then we have ta. So this word, which is bint, kasra below ba, sukoon above noon, so it's pronounced like bint, bint. Okay, this word means girl or daughter. Okay, so the second example, here we have ba plus ya plus noon. If we add fatha to ba, so it will pronounce it like ba, ba. Okay, and then sukoon to ya, so we'll pronounce it like bay. Try to connect between the two pronunciations, bay, bay. There is no vowel or there is no move for ya, bay, bay. Okay, and then we have the last letter, which is noon, and we add fatha, so all of them, if we connect their pronunciations, will be pronounced like bayna, bayna, bayna. This word, which is bayna, fatha ba, okay, fatha ba, sukoon ya, and fatha noon, it means between. Okay, when we have something between two another objects. Okay, okay, now we will take just two words of those examples, which are this first one and this one, and I'm gonna now try to pronounce it, and you're gonna try to write it in your notebook with the vowels. Okay, so listen carefully. بيت بيت. So now try to write it in your notebook with the vowels. So if you write it like this, فتحة on باء and سكون on ياء, that's correct. And this word بيت بيت means house. Okay. And the second example, listen carefully. تبن تبن. Okay, so if you write it like this, كسرة below تاء and سكون above باء, that's correct. And this word means hay, which is a food for donkey or horse, for example. Okay, in addition to the three short vowels and sukoon, there is another symbol which is called shadda. Okay, and shadda, it looks like a small W like this above the letter. Okay, and its function, it shows that the letter is doubled, or when you pronounce it like it's extended or doubled. Okay, for example, bassa bassa. Okay, if you try to pronounce this word, you will find that if we try to pronounce it, you will see that we have like two tha, like bas sa. Okay, the function of shadda here is like it extends the letter or it lengthens the letter. It puts like a stress on the letter. So if we have another example, bun bun, you will feel like we have here two noon, bun bun. Okay, and it do the same, it lengthens the letter noon. Okay, so our last exercise for today, you're gonna try to say these words and then match their meaning in English. Okay, so the first word is تبن تبن, kasra below ta, سكون above ba and then noon. So what this word means in English? Yeah, if you say this number 4, which is hay, that's correct. تبن means hay. And then we have بيت بيت, which is فتحة on ba, سكون on ya, and then ta, which is mean. Yes, if you said house, that's correct. بيت means house. And then the third word, which is bint bint, kasra below ba and sukun above noon, which is mean yes, girl or daughter, that's correct. And then we have bun bun, which is dhamma above ba and shadda above noon, which means yes, coffee beans, that's correct. Bun bun. And then we have the last one, which is bayna bayna, fatha above ba, sukun above ya, and then fatha again above noon, which means yes, means between. So that's the end of our video today. Thanks for your time, and that's it. Have a great day.